This is my audience.
Reese Walker, again, nice to see you. And today we are focusing on a forensic speech using the Tolman model for a controversial topic. And I went with backyard breeding and puppy mills. So, backyard breeding should be banned in our country because it contributes to animal cruelty, overcrowding in shelters, and unethical choices to prioritize the dog's looks over the dog's health. And another thing that I would like to bring up is the fact that there are genetic disorders that come from inbreeding with the dogs in these puppy mills. All right, to start off, backyard breeding is a heavy and it's a very sad topic, but sometimes things like this need to be talked about in order to figure out what we can do about it. And that doesn't mean we can't swallow our sadness, and we can do something about it and educate ourselves. Due to the growing numbers of breeds such as Golden Doodles, Labrador, Golden Retrievers, French Bulldogs, and many different breeder-produced dogs, we are facing an extreme amount of overpopulation in our shelters. Overpopulation is a very large issue, and it can lead to euthanasia, and it can lead to many things that we don't want our little furry friends to have to deal with. All right. Backyard breeding has a tendency to prioritize looks and their purebred status over their health and safety. Stricter rules need to be put in place in order to get rid of these breeding problems in our area. There are many cases of puppy mills in which there has been evidence of inbreeding and crossbreeding in their breeds, which can typically lead to genetic and IBS disorders in their health. The common tendency would be from scholarly source of the study of fashionable dog breeding states that inbreeding in popular breeding facilities lead to many genetic disorders and can limit quality and quantity of life for the animals. Disorders such as skin issues, joint problems, breathing, respiratory issues can be caused by inbred pure dogs. In another excerpt from the scholarly study of fashionable dog breeding, it is said that humans selectively bred dogs for various purposes, including hunting, guarding, service roles. However, over time, preferences have shifted from functionality to aesthetics, serving a diverse range of the dog breeds with various sizes, shapes, and coats. Unfortunately, this focuses on design and appearance rather to the health and the genetic issues of the dog that faces with those aesthetic problems. The article looks at fashionable dog breeding and questions the ethics in prioritizing looks over health and behavior. It aims to alert potential owners, breeders, and regulates the importance of considering a dog's overall well-being and not just its appearance. Moving on to another side of unethical dog breeding and puppy mills is neglect and cruelty, especially to the females who are being bred over and over and over until they reached the point of no return and they just have no more go in them. In a scholarly article by Los Angeles Country Report on backyard breeding, it is stated that popular socialization of dogs from a young age is essential to the dog's well-being, and it can lead to aggression, biting, and anxiety later in their life. The tragic incident serves as a reminder of the important responsible pet ownership and the socialization of a dog to prevent the potential for unsocialized or aggressive behavior. We urge individuals to prioritize the welfare of animals and to educate themselves on proper breeding process, which is good for their health, but also good for their well-being and their social welfare. The mothers of the dogs are always cramped into small spaces, given little food and no water and no attention. This will create a really bad environment for the dog and will make them even more aggressive. There is another reason why backyard breeding is a bad decision, and it's not always about the health of the dogs and in the facilities, the cruel practices that come with them. From article Pause Report on Puppy Mills, it says that after the puppy mills are closed down and reported to police, hundreds of dogs are met with the unfortunate circumstance of being taken to a shelter and their fate being decided then. Sadly, many of these dogs have to be euthanized because there's overcrowding in the shelters, and overcrowding in the shelters means they do not have food, they do not have extra water, and they don't have extra space for these dogs, so they have to be met with the fate of being put down. I'll show an excerpt from How Cast.
Adopting from a shelter can be very rewarding for both dog and owner. Shelters have puppies as well as adult dogs, and there are a few things to consider. Puppies are kind of blank slates, and you can kind of groom them and train them to fit your lifestyle a little bit more. Some adult dogs will come with some experience under their belt. The nice part about that is that adult dogs will kind of already be set in their ways, maybe have some training already under their belts. The bad part is that sometimes they'll come with a little baggage that need a little bit of work, a little bit of training. So, you should know your experience level. Talk to the shelter staff. A lot of the staff is very knowledgeable and can be very helpful in choosing the right dog for you. Again, this comes down to size, shape, temperament. What are you looking for in your household?
Alright, in the video that you just watched, you will see a man talking about all the different breeds that they are at a dog shelter, which is golden retrievers, labs. As I just said, those are also very common bred dogs that are from breeders or puppy mills, which is insane to think that you cannot find a dog at a shelter that fits your well-being. And what I will say about that is that you will find puppies, you will find any kind of breed that you would like at a shelter, and you will have no lives in the process. And in another PAWS report, it is stated that many animals were infected by a parvo disease, and in common breeds like that you find in a breeding facility, you will actually have to deal with parvo, because parvo is very common, especially in a home breeding process or in a puppy mill, because they're very unsanitary and there's no way of preventing cross-contamination or diseases and vaccinations. They have little to no veterinary care, and they cannot reduce any parvo outbreak. So overall, I think that you should do your research before you do choose your own dog. And then please make sure you do no cruel practices, because dogs are supposed to be man's best friend, and let's make sure that we keep it that way by not hurting them. In conclusion, unethical dog breeding and puppy mills are an unfortunate way to people get their dogs in this country, and it has caused many problems such as overcrowding in shelters, rising euthanasia costs and performances, genetic issues due to inbreeding, and for all the animals involved. It is very painful and it's very sad. And an argument that I would like to bring up is sometimes it is more professional in some sense to get a dog from a breeder, and it fits your lifestyle more. And I would like to bring it up that it's not entirely always a bad way to get a dog. Sometimes there are very professional, ethical breeders, and you just should do your research before you do so. And thank you. Have a good day.